Hey guys! As promised, today we have a look at the Kongō, the Tier 5 battleship on the Japanese tech tree. While commanding the Kawachi at Tier 3 or the Miyogi at Tier 4 was a lot of fun, it's pretty much here with the Kongō that the real battleship awesomeness starts. This is the ship where everything falls into place. You have the firepower, the firing range, the mobility, reasonably good AA, and even a scout plane that you should use whenever possible. This is the first battleship that truly checks all the boxes, and it will make you feel powerful indeed. Before we dig any deeper, however, let me just point you impatient ones towards the timestamp in the description, should you want to jump ahead to the gameplay. This time I have a sweet 103,000 damage run on the Kongō, scoring 31 hits on the way. First, let's have a look at the history of this battleship. The Kongō, also meaning indestructible, was named after Mount Kongo, and was originally built as a battle cruiser by the British for Japan. She was in fact the last Japanese capital ship that was constructed outside of Japan. Being launched in 1912 and commissioned in 1913, she did serve Japan as a battle cruiser throughout the First World War, mainly patrolling the Chinese border. After the war has ended, she was heavily upgraded and rebuilt in several steps to a fast battleship and gained the looks that we know now from the game. Entering the Second World War, the Kongō had now a much more active role in the fights. She was involved in the campaigns targeting today's Malaysia and Indonesia, the famous Battle of Midway, and the Guadalcanal campaign, acting mostly as a cover for the air attacks, but also bombarding the fortifications and airfields with high-caliber HE shells. During these fights, she was attacked several times by dive bombers and torpedo bombers as well, but received no hits whatsoever. Things really did heat up though towards the second half of the World War for the Kongō, when she was part of the counteroffensive of Japan and was heavily involved in the massive naval engagements in October 1944. During these battles, she scored several successful hits on cruisers and destroyer escorts, and also sunk the destroyer Samuel B. Roberts. In November the same year, however, she was spotted by the submarine USS Sea Lion just after midnight and received 2 fatal torpedo hits. Unfortunately for the crew, while evacuation was already underway, one of the forward 14-inch magazines exploded, effectively breaking the ship in two, which then sunk rapidly onto the bottom of the sea, killing over 1,200 of her crew. Escort ships could only save 237 survivors. She was the only Japanese battleship sunk by a submarine in the Second World War, and she is also the last battleship sunk by submarine since then in history. This was the end of this iconic battleship. With that settled, let's look at the details of this little beauty. And what else would we look at first than the guns? It's a battleship after all. Well, the gun situation is pretty good. You have 4 main turrets, 2 in the front and 2 in the back, housing 2 356mm cannons each. That's quite a lot of power, and as your AP shells can do a maximum of 11,000 damage, a full salvo mathematically can cause up to 88,000 damage. Now of course, this won't really happen in real life much, especially not at long range. Talking about the range, the Kongō fully upgraded has a pretty sweet 21km firing range, meaning that you can finally take potshots on the enemy ships while moving into position as well. Of course, this is combined with a shocking dispersion of 274 meters, so every hit you score over larger distances should be treated as a gift. Your fire really gets effective from around 10 to 12 kilometers away, but there is no harm in softening them up a little bit from far away as well if there is nothing better to shoot at. Regarding the other secondary stats, your rate of fire is unchanged and you still have a 2-shot per minute limit, so you have to calculate with the by now well-known reload time of 30 seconds between shots. Further good news is that your turrets turn surprisingly well considering what monster of a gun they house. They each turn 180 degrees in just 37.5 seconds. Your secondary armament is now quite considerable as well, with 14 152mm guns and 4 127mm guns. These babies will engage the enemy within a radius of 4 kilometers, and they will put some serious pain down on anyone who is foolish enough to get that close to you. Even further good news is about your AA guns. Congratulations! You are now driving a battleship that finally can do something effective about those pesky planes. Your 4 127mm guns will engage planes within 5 kilometers, the 10 25mm guns will start firing within 3 kilometers, And finally, the two quad 13mm mounts will join in at 2 km of range. While all this firepower will not be enough to shoot down entire squadrons reliably, you will shoot down a couple of planes, resulting in less torpedoes in the water that are now easier to dodge. Armor-wise, there is not much interesting going on. You still have the up to 203mm of armor plating that you are used to. However, you have to notice that your citadel, and that's the source of some nasty critical hits, has now actually less armor, as it has at best 121mm of armor, which could potentially be a problem. At least you have a respectable 54,000 HP you can spend in the encounters. Mobility is quite alright as well. You still have a quite good 31 knot top speed, and you even turn slightly better than the Miyogi, a class earlier with a turning circle radius of around 860 meters. And finally, visibility is as bad as you can expect it to be. You get spotted by ships from 16 kilometers away already, and by planes from about 12 kilometers away. Upgrade-wise, there is quite a lot to do, and it takes a bit of work to get everything up to snuff. Apart from the mandatory hull upgrades, you have two very important parts. The propulsion that gives you an extra 6 knots to your top speed, and two gun upgrades that will seriously bring down the turning speed of the main turrets. As completely stock, you start with an abysmal 60-second turning speed. The fire control upgrade should be left last, as while the extra 2 km firing range is quite nice, the stock 19 km range you have is fine too, and it's much more important to work on your speed and on your turret rotation. Regarding the additional side upgrades, I did go with main battery modification to lower the chance of crits and reduce repair time on my main damage dealers. Additionally, I did pick up a gunfire control modification as well to increase the accuracy of the main guns. And finally, I improved the damage control system to reduce the chance of fires and flooding. As for the captain skills, I suggest basic fire training at level 1 and advanced fire training at level 4 to give a boost to your secondary and AA guns range. At level 2, I would go for aiming expertise to make those turrets turn even faster. And at level 3, I would pick up repair work to enhance your healing ability. Finally, at tier 5, I will probably go for jack of all trades to reduce my cooldowns faster. So that's the Kongō in a nutshell for you. You will enjoy going to battle in one of these ships, guaranteed. It just feels like a real battleship after the Kawachi and the Miyogi. But enough of me rambling about. Let's have a look at how these floating fortresses perform on the battlefield. Alright, so here we are in the Kongō, just loading into the game. It will be a domination match on the fault line map. So that means that there will be 3 caps, and we will have to grab them each and maintain the superiority as much as possible, and of course shoot everyone to pieces. Now looking at the team lineup, it seems that we will have an independence, an American CV on our side, and the enemy doesn't have any carriers, so that guy will have unopposed air supremacy throughout the game, which is quite nice. They have, however, 3 tier 6 battleships, and one of them is a Warspite, which is a brand new premium ship from the British line. That's at the moment the only British ship available in the game. It has been just patched in. And I have to admit, I don't know squat about the Warspite, so it will be a fun experience shooting it up throughout the game. Well, we'll see about that. Alright, so first of all, trying to figure out, should we go left or right? And if I'm not mistaken, 2 of the battleships go one side, and 2 of us go here, towards the eastern front. Well, western front, if we take it from my position. And it seems that the deployment of the team is actually quite alright. There won't be any massive gaps, so that's nice. You see, first battleship's already spotted. Where are you bastards? In the meantime, just look at this battleship. It's glorious. So you did notice I did release a scout plane. You don't have any actual control over it, however, it will zoom around the map and it will detect ships for you, so it's actually quite helpful. Now that battleship is about on the range, on my firing range, So I had to lead quite a bit, and we will see in a second if we hit. Indeed, that was actually quite a lucky shot. A citadel penetration and 3 hits scored, so over that distance, that's... well, it's quite a bit down to luck as well. We are just about reloaded. So... and oh, holy crap. That was some citadel hits as well in return, so that's not good. There is a second salvo coming in as well. Hopefully it will miss, and well, it's not half as bad. That was at least 1, probably 2 citadel hits that he scored, so we're trying to repair immediately as much as possible, but that was one hell of a hit. Alright.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
Third salvo out. There's quite a lot of action going on this side of the map, and yeah, it was a bit too much. So we adjust and we wait, and you can only fire every 30 seconds, so it takes quite a long time. You can also play with the with your speed quite a lot, because as you see, we sail here broadside to each other, and if I suddenly take back from the speed, that will mess up his shots quite nicely. And it seems... is it a miss? Yeah, well, mostly. And of course, the shots land before and behind him, but that's just battleship accuracy over large distances. Now we are approaching here the side of the map, and there are quite a lot of battleships sailing this way, so we will have to start turning. And my plan is to take this shot and then sail around that little island and back where I came from, turn around my guns, and that's quite unfortunate as well. Yeah, there is a smoke screen as well, so that means there is a destroyer, most probably. So quickly sail around this island, that will give me a little bit of protection, and then on the way back we will keep on bombarding those battleships. Sailing into that flock of ships would be suicide, so we won't do that. Come on. Please be good. He disappears into the smoke screen, but... oh, we still hit him. Well, with only 2 of the shots, but that's alright. And now we focus on sailing around this island. And this also helps us to avoid... look at that massive, massive amount of ships sailing around that on that corner of the map. If it would be less, I could charge in, so my secondary guns approach them as well, but this way, no fucking way. Just too much, and most of those battleships are higher tier as well than me, so there is no reason to do something foolish as that. Our repair is on cooldown as well, that's alright, at the moment. We won't have any battleships close to us, so we can just let the team repair it slowly. There are the 2 fusos. I wondered where that warspite is. If we have seen him before, I missed it completely. And we score 1 more hit. Okay. Oh, that might be the warspite. Oh yes, there he is. He's quite close, 14 kilometers. At this range, we can already put down some effective fire, so let's see, ranging shot goes out, we need to adjust and now release the full salvo. Well, whatever is available, that is. So that was 1 hit only, but it did over 3000 damage, so that's not too bad. And luckily, other team members are retaking some of the caps as well, because the enemy got quite a lead. It will be important to bring it back, otherwise the counter will kill us completely. Here I focus on the battleship, which is the bigger threat. And that looks like a better shot. Oh yes. That was nice. think we can lob that just behind that island, so we can still hit him. Well, for it seems that our shots didn't land where we aimed them. And that might be not enough of a lead. No, it falls short as well. Well, it was worth trying, but now battleship is back in action. Now it's less than 12 kilometers away. So, quite unfortunate, and that's with the enhanced aiming as well, so something you have to expect. Your shots will go all over the place. And that looks better. Oh yes, Citadel hit as well. Over 17,000 damage. Now, that was a good hit. But now the islands are blocking them, so we have to sail around. And I don't want to sail all the way around. I think it's time we turn left and go into the thick of it. Especially as the enemy has a lead. We need to get a bit more aggressive. He's turning as well. Ooh, but that doesn't save him. Another Citadel hit, 18,000 damage this time. So, premium ship or not, he's getting pounded. There goes one of the enemy ships. And in the meantime, I just keep repairing my ship as much as possible with my healing skill. But it's naturally quite limited. And you can use it up as well, completely. I think you can use it like maybe 3 or 4 times, I'm not quite sure. But you will see that in this match, I actually use it up completely. Alright, so just enjoy the calm weather at the moment. So there is not much we can shoot at from this position. Really want to get that Warspite. So we turn in. And by the way, by sailing that way, I will also try to recapture that position. Because they still have a 2-zone lead, well, a 1-zone lead above us. And we don't like that. No, sir. Okay, so enemy ships appearing on the radar as well. And we have a slight lead. 5 versus 3. But 2 of those are battleships, and if they score a good hit, they can wreck, well, most of us, I think.
Scout returning to ship.
Okay, well, that ship is behind the big one, so we won't get any shots of his sides anytime soon. But here should be the good friend. And let's put some shots into him. That might be actually an enemy fuso. Oh yeah. He scored 3 hits. And there is an battleship, and he sunk. So that's great. Almost reloaded. Readjust and lob those shells over the islands, which you will have to do quite a lot, because you will be chasing each other around these islands all the time. And ooh, that was a good shot. 6 hits. Yep, that was a fuse also. That means that the Warspite was sunk in the meantime by one of our teammates. But hey, I think we could chew on him at least, and oh, that's not good. That It's an enemy cruiser and he's firing HE. Put the fires out, but as he will keep on shooting me. There it goes, I have now the ship burning in 2 places. So that's quite uncomfortable. I really want to close the distance on that battleship, but this cruiser gives me a lot of trouble. And here comes the return fire. Well, luckily, return straight to him, we avoid most of it, and another citadel hit, so that's excellent. 11,000 damage scored on that battleship. But we are burning really bright, so that's not too good. And he keeps on pounding us. However, he is now reversing, and he is on very low health, so that means
Our team has
I
taken the
think
lead.
it's time to put an end to his shenanigans. Servo out. And he goes down. With a citadel hit, no less. It's not really required, but we won't say no. In the meantime, you see that our AA guns are shooting at the enemy scout planes. We already took down one of them. And here goes the second one down. So you do have an effective AA armament, finally, after having, well, nothing in the previous ships. And we are on perilously low health, but this one's in the bag. We control 2 out of the 3 zones. It's 5-on-1, so we will come around this island and shoot him in the arse. Because that's what he deserves. He's already being shot at quite heavily by someone.
Scout destroyed.
I don't know why he didn't stay in cover of that island, but yes, he keeps on sailing. He's probably now engaged with someone else, so that means we can come out without being in danger of being shot at instantly, and that's correct. We are reloaded, Savo out. Look at that spread. And we score a good hit. We don't get the kill, but that was satisfying revenge nonetheless. Alright, so that was not a bad game. 160,000 credits and almost 2700 XP. From that, over 1800 base XP with a Kongō in a tier 6 game, so not too shabby. And there you have it, all those citadel hits. It's 103,000 damage in 63 penetrating hits. It's not bad. The Kongō is a lot of fun. So that was my little review on the Kongō battleship. I hope you did like it. If you did, please consider giving it a like down below or sharing it, as it helps a lot. Next up, we will finally clean up the remaining tier 2 arty pieces in World of Tanks, and then we will continue with a look at the Saipan, the tier 6 American CV in World of Warships. Honestly, I completely forgot that there is a long weekend here in Hungary this week, so unfortunately there won't be more videos for the rest of the week, but I will catch up next week with the schedule. Take care guys, and enjoy your weekend!